What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be getting into how much it costs to compete in a bikini competition. Let's get into it. So how much does it cost to compete in a bikini competition? I get this question pretty often from friends, from people online, and a lot of people are really shocked by how expensive it actually is. So let's go into some of the basics that you're going to need to compete. The first one being coaching. So coaching can run from $150 to $400 a month. And honestly, it can go even higher than that depending on the level of coaching that you're gonna need. Make sure that you research the coach that you are using. Look at their track record, see what other competitors that they have coached before, see how well those competitors did, and even message them. Because you really never know what their experience is like and if that's the person that you really want to go with, because you're going to be spending a couple months with that person, checking in, telling them how you're feeling, and yeah, that's super important. Make sure you get along with your coach. And then the next one is your posing coach. So you don't necessarily need this, but I highly recommend it. I'm not the best poser, so I did invest in taking a one-on-one posing class, and those can run around like $70. After that, that's like the basics that you really need, and then you can kind of like spruce it up from there. And the next thing is your bikini. So if you want to get a really good bikini that you can use for a really long time, they can range from $500 to $1,000, and sometimes even more than that. I decided to go with something a little bit cheaper because I wasn't sure if this is something that I would continue doing. This is a suit I got, super cute, super pretty. Lots of sparkles. I spent about $300 on it. I bought it from a smaller boutique, but in all honesty, I wish I would have went with something a little bit more expensive because I did have to get it altered a couple times. It just kind of fit weird in certain spots. So yeah, bikinis can range from $500 to like $1,000. The next thing that you're gonna need is a posing suit. So when you have a coach, you're going to be checking in with them once a week, and you need to be wearing a suit that's very similar to the suit that you have. And you don't always want to wear the suit you have because when you start prep, you're not that tiny yet, so you don't want to risk ruining the suit that you have. So you want a posing suit. Those can range from like $100 to like $120, and a lot of the bikini competition sites that sell the suits sell posing suits as well. So definitely make sure you get one of those because the bottoms themselves of the bikinis are completely different than any other bikini that you have. So you want to make sure you have a really good posing suit to check in with your coach with. The next thing that you're going to need for your outfit is your shoes. So I have these, they're from Shoe Fairy. You need a clear heel, and these I think are about 5 inches tall. But they're super comfortable. Like, I highly recommend investing in a good pair of shoes. When you're on stage, you're already in pain from posing for so long. So you do not want your feet to be in pain too from just standing there. These can run from like $80 to I think it's like $125. I'm not 100% sure on the price. But they have like this platform here that's like memory foam, and they're so comfortable. So yeah. Definitely get a good pair of shoes. If you want to go cheaper, you can go on Amazon. I think they're like 30 or 40 bucks, but I'm telling you, you're gonna be in pain, so make sure you get a good pair of shoes. The next thing that you're gonna need is jewelry. So when you're on stage, you need to wear jewelry. I got jewelry from Angel Competition Bikini, and they had like a sale, so I just figured I'd buy it from them. I got earrings, bracelets, a ring, and that can range from like $20 to like $50. And really, you can go anywhere for that stuff. Nobody's gonna know where you got it from, so. And then the next thing that you're gonna need is your tan. So when you are on stage, those bright lights are like beaming on you, and if you don't have a tan, they're not gonna be able to see your muscles nearly as well. So the show normally provides a in-house tanner, and they'll do your tan the night before, the day of, and right before you get on stage. This can run around $150. If you want to do it yourself, you can get a DIY kit through ProTan. I think it's like $100. But if it's your first time competing, just go with the in-house tanner. The next thing you're gonna need is your nails. So with Bikini, they look for the overall package. So you need to make sure from head to toe, like everything is made up. So nails, like 50 bucks, get those done. Hair and makeup. I think most shows have a hair and makeup person that comes in that you can just pay and they'll do it for you the day of. And that usually is around $150. And you definitely want to make sure you get your makeup done professionally if you don't know how to do it, because stage makeup is completely different than just normal makeup. And then pictures and video. So the show will also provide a photographer / videographer that comes in and they do pictures and videos of you when you're on stage. And if you want to remember that day and like look back on it, I highly recommend just getting some pictures taken by them. I think it's like 50 bucks. And then if you want like video too, it can go up to like $200 or whatever. But I did that for my first show and they came out great. So highly recommend you do that. And then to enter the show. Entering the show, I did an OCB show, which is a natural federation, and I also did an NPC show, which is not drug tested. So NPC is definitely more expensive. In order to even enter the show, you need a membership. So that will cost you around $125. And then to enter into that specific show, to enter into each class, so that is, I think, $100 per class. So $125 to be a member, and then to enter into, I entered into novice, class A, and open. And each of those were $100 each. So I spent $425 just to be in the show. OCB is a lot cheaper, but then you also have to remember that you need to pay for a polygraph test because they are drug tested. The last thing that you need to think of is traveling. So if your show is not in your hometown, you are going to be traveling for it, and you will most likely have to stay at a hotel or an Airbnb. The show normally has a host hotel that's part of the show, and sometimes they'll do the tanning there, and I think the starting price of like staying at a hotel is like $250 a night. So if you just want to make everything a lot easier, just stay at the host hotel. And then you have to think of gas if you have to drive there, and if you have to fly there if it's farther away. So all those prices into consideration. I have like a rough estimate of what it would cost for a 16-week prep, which is the normal amount of time that you're gonna be prepping for. And it can range from $2,300 to $5,000, around there. And that's not taking everything into consideration. This is just the basics. So some other things you have to think of too are your food and supplements. Now these are two things you're already hopefully gonna be doing before you start prepping, but your supplement intake might go up a lot more because with being so depleted, you're gonna be a little bit deficient in certain areas, so you're gonna have to take more supplements. Me and my husband competed together and the price of our food went up crazy, like insane, because we had to buy all whole foods. Like, yes, we're not buying nearly as much, but the cost of all natural foods, whole foods, that stuff is pretty expensive. So our cost for food definitely went up. And then we also had a budget for supplements each month because we had to take supplements in the morning and supplements at night. But those are just other things to take into consideration when you're looking into prepping. And then the other thing is your gym membership. Hopefully you already have this, but if you don't, you're gonna have to pay to go to a gym to work out. If you're competing, you're going to need to build muscle, and unless you have a home gym, you just need a gym, so yeah. And then the last thing that I could really think of was just stuff for backstage and traveling. So when you compete, like I said, you need to get that crazy tan, and for a girl, you can't just go to the bathroom normally with that tan. You have to get a pee funnel, which is super fun to use. Those you can get on Amazon. You have to get dark pajamas for your tan because you don't want to ruin things. You have to get black bed sheets for your hotel so that you don't ruin the hotel sheets. All the stuff you can find on Amazon. And then bands for pumping up backstage. Unless your gym will let you borrow some, you're going to want to get some yourself. And then pump food. So before you're about to step on stage, you want to get in some Reese's peanut butter cups, stuff like that. I spent for my first show about $2,600 on the first one. And that's pretty average. Like, that's not bad. And there's definitely ways that you can cut costs with competing. I've seen girls that buy a plain bikini that's not bedazzled and they bedazzle it themselves. And I don't know how they do it because I do not have that time, but you can do that, and it'll be like $100 your bikini, and then you just sit there and you bedazzle it yourself and you wear that on stage. And yeah, and some of them look really good. So you can definitely save money that way. You can save money with the shoes by getting them on Amazon for like $40. I can't say they're gonna be nearly as comfortable, but you can do that. You can buy jewelry from Amazon or, I don't know, a dollar store, and you can do the tan yourself. But if it's your first show, I highly recommend just going the easy route and trying to like get the tan done by somebody else, get your hair and makeup done by somebody else, because when you are about to step on stage, it is scary. Like, it's stressful, and you don't want that stress to be showing in your physique. So yeah, not a cheap sport, but if you're gonna do it, you definitely want to make sure that you're putting in the work, and you might have to spend a little bit of money for that. So yeah, that's the cost of competing in a bikini competition. About $2,300 to $5,000, and it can definitely get more expensive than that depending on your level of competing. So yeah, if you're thinking about doing it, just take all this into consideration. It's a really fun sport and it's super worth it. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.